Tonight, a record number of people have registered to vote in Bexar County ahead of the March primary. Residents sounding the alarm about cars speeding through school zones on a stretch of Oblate Drive. And KSAT has partnered with two local nonprofits for a new venture. We're hearing from the people behind the new Fairfax KSAT Revard Report poll. Thanks for joining us tonight for KSAT News at 9, streaming from right here in the KSAT 12 newsroom. I'm Myra Arthur. A record number of people are registered to vote here in Bexar County. Some preliminary numbers from the elections office here show that more than 1.1 million people are registered to vote locally. That's more than were registered for the primaries in 2016 and in 2018. Early voting for the March primary starts on February 18th, and then Election Day is on March 3rd. Meantime, tonight in Iowa, the very first voters in the presidential race casting their ballots in the Iowa caucuses. Early entrance polls show Joe Biden, Pete Buttigieg, Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren leading the pack. Meanwhile, on the Republican side, a much smaller pool of candidates. President Donald Trump is the winner. He was facing no significant opposition. And just a reminder, you can still sign up for our KSAT News at 9 newsletter to help you keep track of all things elections in 2020. A new edition of our Vote 2020 newsletter rolls out every Tuesday. You can sign up at ksat.com/newsletters. This stretch of Oblate Drive is causing some concern north of downtown. People who live and work in the area say that drivers are speeding through school zones, and it's a serious problem there. Tiffany Huertas reports they want to make the road safer before a child could get seriously hurt.
I avoid going that way when I leave our neighborhood.
After living in this neighborhood for about 2 years, one thing is clear for Jennifer Neal.
I don't want to get caught in the school zone next to someone who's causing trouble. I don't want anything to happen to my own family, and I certainly don't want to see anything happen to anyone else's children.
Neal says the problem is on Oblate Drive between San Pedro Avenue and McCullough Avenue. Two schools are located here, Blessed Sacrament Catholic Church and School and Dr. Harmon W. Kelly Elementary School. But she says drivers are also speeding through her neighborhood on Meadowwood Lane.
I think they are avoiding the school zone on Oblate to miss both the elementary school and the church school, so they come through our neighborhood to get to the mall or the quarry or what have you.
With two little ones, Neal had to resort to putting up these signs.
Honestly, is upsetting that people drive as quickly as they do through a neighborhood.
Father Chris Munoz with Blessed Sacrament Catholic Church also worries.
I know this is a very busy street, especially from 281 to San Pedro, so a lot of people cross through here. So I know it's very busy, and a lot of people forget what the speed limit is around here.
The speed limit is 20 miles per hour during school hours. There are school zone warning lights. Neal hopes something changes.
I would love to see speed bumps
before it's too late.
If speeding through a 20-mile-an-hour school zone is going to mess up your day, you should have left the house 5 minutes sooner, because it could really wreck someone's entire life.
The speed limit is 35 miles per hour during non-school hours. We reached out to District 1 Councilman Roberto Trevino, who referred us to the Transportation and Capital Improvements Office. The department says since this is a speeding enforcement issue, to reach out to SAPD. We reached out to SAPD and we're still waiting to hear back about how many citations they have given out in this area. For the 9, Tiffany Huertas.
The sentence handed down today for a man known as the medical center rapist. Shots fired on board a Greyhound bus in California, and swarms of locusts prompting a national emergency. Here's tonight's 9 at 9.
The jury wasted little time deciding that Anton Harris, the convicted medical center rapist, should do a lot of time. The verdict, after just over 2 hours of deliberations, 99 years in prison.
Anton Harris was found guilty for the 2017 rape of a nurse in her medical center apartment.
Harris's lawyer argued for mercy, not life in prison. 30 years, he told the jury, would be more appropriate.
The jury obviously rejected that. Harris will not be eligible for parole until he has served 44 and a half years in prison. One person killed and 5 others hurt after a shooting on a Greyhound bus in California. A gunman opened fire on the bus as it traveled from Los Angeles to the Bay Area overnight. Police say the bus driver immediately pulled over and forced the suspect off the bus.
There was some heroic actions that were taken by the passengers that led to the eventual suspect being disarmed and escorted off of the bus.
That suspect has been arrested. The FBI is searching for a man they're calling the Scream Bandit. A man donning a mask, also worn by the villain in the Scream movies, is wanted in a string of armed robberies in Virginia. The FBI is offering a reward of up to $10,000 for information that leads to his arrest. San Antonio police looking for two men they say beat and shot another man at a West Side motel. It happened at the Oyo Hotel on Valley High Drive.
This motel stands right in the shadows of JBSA Lackland, and San Antonio police say it was under the cover of darkness that someone pulled off this violent crime.
The victim told police it all began with one of the suspects knocking on his door demanding money. Soon after answering the door, he says that man beat him with brass knuckles, and another man tried shooting at him, but the shotgun jammed. That's when police say the man with brass knuckles pulled out a gun and shot the victim in the shoulder, the side, and wrist. The woman accused of crashing a car through two checkpoints outside President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago club in Florida in court this morning. Hannah Romehill's attorney told the judge she needs a mental health evaluation. She had been behaving erratically and dancing on top of her car before leading the Florida Highway Patrol on a chase. The Secret Service and sheriff's deputy ended up opening fire on her car. Romehill's attorney says she was off her medication at the time of the incident. Radio host Rush Limbaugh told listeners today that he has advanced lung cancer. The Rush Limbaugh Show has been in national syndication for 31 years. The company that syndicates his show says it's the most listened to national radio talk show in America. In Maryland, several cars at a dealership go up in flames. This resulted in the closure of an area school and the local utility company shutting off electrical power to that area to help firefighters battle the flames. We don't know what caused the fire. Somalia has now declared a national emergency as growing swarms of desert locusts spread across eastern Africa. Government officials say short-horned grasshoppers like these are uncommonly large. They're threatening Somalia's food supply and livelihoods. Recognize these? After years of only being available in Canada, General Mills announced on Monday the relaunch of Dunkaroos in the U.S. You should see them on store shelves this summer. To read more about these 9 stories, go to ksat.com.
We have some big changes to talk about this week. Temperatures will be up and down quite a bit, and we'll even have a little bit of moisture as well. So for tomorrow, one of your main headlines, it's going to be even warmer. Shorts, short sleeves for sure for the kids. That's A-OK. Then we get cold and windy into Wednesday. Okay, so very blustery for the middle part of the week. And with that colder air, could be a little bit of a light wintry mix possible. So we'll jump into that in a minute. But first, let's talk about temperatures. Right now, we're for the most part in the 60s. At the airport, 66, Helotes 62, Randolph at 67, already some upper 50s in parts of the hill country. You get to Kerrville, it's 59, and even 59 in Rock Springs. All right, so let's talk about temperatures. Tomorrow, right near 80 degrees, but then look what happens. The bottom just falls out by Wednesday. We'll be in the mid-40s, so not just cold, but windy as well. Wind chills probably dipping down into the 20s at times through Wednesday morning. Then we rebound as we get toward the end of the week, and this is all part of our bigger weather pattern and what's happening outside. We had a few sprinkles out there today, only amounting to a trace of rain at the airport in San Antonio. And right now, you head farther west of town and we still have a few sprinkles out there, especially just north of Brackettville and moving through parts of the hill country. Not a big deal, not expecting anything really more significant for the rest of the night, just a few sprinkles out there. All right, so today, this cloud cover and the moisture was coming in from Mexico, a little ripple in the upper level flow through some energy our way and that moisture. But what we're really going to focus on now is our next disturbance, this big dip in the upper level pattern that's right over the Rockies right now. That's going to slide southward, dig southward, and pull some of the colder air along with it. And colder air, right now temperatures are generally in the teens and even some 20s out there behind the cold front that's associated with this system. And speaking of the cold front, it's already in parts of Texas. You go from 64 in Midland to 50 in Lubbock to 31 in Amarillo, even 65 Abilene and 50 in Lubbock. So you can see that cold front dropping southward. It's not going to make it here during the day tomorrow, but by tomorrow night, it'll pay us a visit. So let's go through time here with our Futurecast. Early tomorrow morning, right around sunrise, low clouds in place, maybe a little bit of fog here and there. Otherwise, a sunny day and rather warm, actually, right near 80 degrees. Then tomorrow night, that cold front hits around midnight, 1 a.m. With it, low clouds, a few showers here and there, and I think some areas of light rain through the first part of our Wednesday. But here's the key. In the hill country, early Wednesday morning, we could have a little bit of a light wintry mix, maybe some minor accumulations on some elevated surfaces. At worst case scenarios, the way it looks right now, that would be the worst. Then we get into Wednesday night around San Antonio, and look at this. Another round of moisture in the hill country, could have a bit of a wintry mix with it, and even creeping into parts of San Antonio and Bexar County. We can't rule out a brief light wintry mix, but really doesn't look like we'll have any travel impacts if it even happens. There's a lot of uncertainty associated with it. So tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., right at 60 degrees. Low clouds to start, then sunny, and making it up to 80 for the high temperature. But then the bottom falls out. There we go into Wednesday, only in the mid-40s for afternoon highs. Windy, cold, blustery, some scattered light rain, then that slight chance of a wintry mix by Wednesday night. Again, the best chance would be up in the hill country. Going forward, we rebound nicely. Thursday, sunny and 58, then by Friday, sunny and 71. Myra?
All right, thanks, Adam. In a small town in East Texas, dominoes are a way of life, a culture. So when doing research on how Hallettsville, a town smack dab between San Antonio and Houston, how it got its name, Justin Horn came across something fascinating. Since 1954, Hallettsville has hosted the Texas State Championship Domino Tournament. It's a throwback, but a competition that brings in the best Texas has to offer. And this year, it didn't disappoint.
On a cold Sunday morning, inside the Knights of Columbus building in Hallettsville, the unmistakable sounds let you know that the 68th State Domino Tournament is underway. 85 teams, 170 players. Playing at a table near the front is Hallettsville native Bob Hinkey.
Some people tell me, well, don't you get tired of playing dominoes? It's the same thing over? I said, there ain't no two hands alike.
And he's seen a few hands, having played in this tournament for nearly 60 years.
I missed 2 tournaments, I think, when my first wife was sick before she passed, but otherwise, I don't miss.
He won it all in 2007. And just minutes earlier was inducted into the Texas Domino Hall of Fame, which, by the way, is also housed at the Knights of Columbus. Today, his partner is his son-in-law. Their opponents, by pure chance, are the team of Emma Orsi of Pearland and her grandfather. In contrast, this is Emma's first time playing competitively, needing a waiver to play because of her age.
I'm 11 years old and I'm in 6th grade.
Meantime, on the other side of the room sits Rosemary Etzler, 91 years young and still as sharp as ever.
My brothers, we all play dominoes at home. We were just raised up with dominoes. It's just a good sport and good pastime.
Etzler is playing with her grandson. Eddie Kuban is at a table in the far corner. He's not only won this tournament before, he's also won a World Domino Championship.
And you get a little nervous sometimes a little hard to sleep the night before.
But as he'll tell you, drawing the right domino is everything.
About 75% luck, 25% skill. You got to get some good dominoes.
These players started playing dominoes first thing this morning, and they're going to keep playing until there's one team left. That may take until midnight tonight.
But as the first round of this double elimination tournament ends, only half of these teams are moving to the winner's bracket. That will not include Rosemary Etzler.
We were way ahead of them, and then all of a sudden, the dominoes just turned bad.
Eddie Kuban's team was successful, and then there was this.
We got beat. Very simple as that. We got beat 2 out of 3.
Emma Orsi and her grandfather pulled the ultimate upset over Hall of Famer Bob Hinkey, the 11-year-old winning her first ever tournament game.
It was very nerve-wracking because I've never played against older people, just my family and my grandpa. So I was very jittery putting my dominoes down.
Jitters aside, and whether she wins or loses today, Emma says she'll be back next year. And so will just about everyone else. It seems this beloved game has that effect on people.
I'd like to win it at least one more time before I die, and hopefully I got a few more chances if I don't get it today, you know.
In Hallettsville for the 9, Justin Horn.
Now, none of the competitors
competitors that Justin talked to actually made it to the championship. But if you were curious, the eventual winners of the tournament were Joey Hinkey of Poth and D. Scott Hinkey of Hallettsville. Coming up right after the break, Steve Spreester's conversation with the people behind the new Bearfax KSAT Rivard Report poll will explain how this is all about an effort to get at the heart of the issues that you care about. We'll be back in just 1 minute.